welcome to 13 Moons Oracle. I wanted to come on here today and tap in to Lemurian frequencies to see how we anchor abundance into our current timeline. There is a lot of Atlantean, Lemurian, Akashic frequencies coming through the collective right now. You're being activated and remembering sacred gifts and capacities from Lemuria. These cards just popped right out. And I wanted to kind of tune into that and just see what it is bringing forth within us. So it's mastery of water as well. You might want to go see my reading on the 1-1 portal, as water is the element that we are mastering, and water is for emotions, it's for carving that path through, it's for that forging of the path in front of us so that we can really birth out into our experience what it is that we need, and also to call in the resources that we need to birth the best experience in service to others, right? And so Lemuria was a time when energetics, sacred geometry ruled the planet, and it was the highest form of connection and frequency. And then we merged it later with Atlantis, and we merged it with the physical on the realm, and that became Atlantis. But that's a discussion for another day. So what do we have going on right now? So waves of change. So like I said, all of these light code activations, all of these water code activations are coming through the collective. In the last 2 and 3 years of finding this reading, you might have really been guided to be by the ocean as much as possible. You might have taken vacations, or just been able to live by the ocean and just wanted to be in the water all the time. And that was you absorbing light frequency codes. A lot of Lemurians actually live, if they are inland and away from the ocean, they live by mountains, and they live in potent areas of vortexes. And then they need to visit the water at least once a year. And so you might have been called to go out and spend time in the ocean. And these times have been activating different ley lines within the planet to reopen the vaults of Lemuria that they left for us in these times, to download specific guidance for our mission and to recover specific skill sets and abilities. So you might have really changed your relationship to water. You might be getting different water filters. You might be using live water. You might be speaking and praying over your water. You might have set up little stations that help to program the water. You might have written on your water jugs. You might have done all kinds of different things with water, making moon water, using moon integration into your ceremonies, or into your healing practices. You might have been using tears, any kind of sacred tears. Instead of wiping them away with the tissue, you might have been rubbing them on your womb and your heart space, and letting them fall onto your heart and rubbing them into your third eye or your crown, or using them in offerings in your manifestations. And so those are a lot of different ways that you could be anchoring and using water. And for the collective, I'm seeing these are actually recently, like, new ways of using water have been coming through you. You're also going through massive changes. So you're going through massive changes in the way that you see the world. You are having massive remembrances of past lives and Akashic records. You might have been seeking this out through other guides and channels, or you might have just been coming across it as everyone wakes up. And people that have been doing this work, they are waking up more and more and channeling through more and more messages. So you might have been drawn to those messages. You might have just really had your own remembrances and activations and had special skill sets or things come through you that are new to you. Like new understandings of yourself and the world around you, new ways of visioning things, new ways of using your empathic abilities, new ways of clairvoyant sight, clairvoyant access. You might have had some really strong visioning experiences. And they might have happened around the new moons and the full moons because of the gateway going on here. And you might have had a really strong connection to the stars. You might have been really seeking out over the past few months or the past year ways to be under the stars, ways to have the starlight touch your skin, to have the moonlight touch your skin. You might have been meditating on ocean waves and just the frequencies and the sounds from nature that come with that. You might have found you just really need to be outside. You might have started to have these shifts where you would like stay inside, or you might shop or anything, and then they might just be replaced where you really needed to be out in nature all the time. Maybe you used to always need to be surrounded by people and have a lot of social gatherings, and then you've just become more introspective, more reflective within, more wanting more times of solitude where you actually spend time with nature, like I said, with the trees, with the mountains, with the waters. Okay. Temple of Dreams. So this is showing me that you are astral traveling in dream time. And so a lot of you will be going to schools that'll be anchoring this skill set of remembering. You might have consciously asked for that, because this group of souls that I am talking to, you are ancient, wise, powerful souls. That's what I attract to this channel, because that's what I am. We have been here for a very, very long time. If you had lives in Lemuria, chances are that you stayed incarnating in this realm for quite a while. And the Temple of Dreams was a place in Lemuria where we could go and access our Akashic records, and that we could go and manifest out and seek different relational experiences to teach us about sacred geometry, to be able to manifest whatever it is that we needed in Lemuria. Now, the Temple of Dreams is a school also in its changed state. So when it actually existed in Lemuria is how I just described it, but now in its changed state, it exists in the ethereal realms, and you can actually access it. And many of you might already know this and might be doing this, but you can ask your angels and your guides to set up a dream school. So if you want to learn more about economics on this planet, if you want to learn more about healing, if you want to learn more about relationship, if you want to learn more about divine masculinity, divine femininity, or inner union, or just even more specific things to challenges that you're experiencing, you can literally ask out loud right before you go to bed, or you can write it in your journal, or you can just call on your guides and your angels in prayer, or tune into your heart and ask the universe to take you to the Temple of Dreams and teach you about these things while you're sleeping. And so many of you have already been attending this. Some of you subconsciously, your soul's already been asking for it because you set it up in your soul contracts, and it's just already been happening for you. But if you want to align with that process consciously, you can literally just ask and you will be taken there. I like to set one up every year and just say, like, this is my dream school that I want to learn about this year. Please take me and show me while I'm sleeping. And so that's a Lemurian connection point and skill set, like I said, that you might have already been doing. And if you're just remembering it now from me telling it to you, you're welcome. So Lemuria was about mermaids. We first came to this realm through water. And we would talk in frequency. We would talk in light codes and activated light codes that would run through the water, and frequencies and harmonics, similar to what we would hear whales and dolphins speak now. But it was also our own thing, and that was the very first language of Earth. And we were shapeshifters, so we could be, eventually we figured out how to be on the planet and how to be with legs, let's say. But we spent a lot of time in the water, and those of you that still love water and still need that nourishment of water, or have to live by water, you will really resonate to that. And you might even be having some dream experiences, or you might have even had memories since you were a child of living in the water, of being able to breathe under the water. You might have just had an affinity to the ocean, and you might have really always wanted to protect ocean life and different kind of like you've just really had a soft spot for the ocean. Like maybe you've engaged in ocean cleanup. Maybe every time you're at the beach, you're cleaning up the shores. Just a lot of care for the ocean and all of its inhabitants. And that is also speaking to the Akashics that you hold of once inhabiting the water fully. Mermaid is also about the siren call, the song of creation. So sirens have a pretty bad rap, I think, from being misunderstood, but this is also connected to Magdalene, right? She was misunderstood, and humans can misunderstand things that they don't understand, especially as patriarchy rose and suppressed the feminine, which suppressed the feminine in everybody. So men lost conscious awareness and connections to their heart and their intuition just as much as women did, right? And so this is coming up in your reading right now to say that all of that is ending for you. So you guys might have had some lifetimes in those dark ages. even in the times of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and you might have attended some of their mystery schools and some of their teachings and their trainings, where you actually remembered coming from Lemuria, and you were actually able to bring back some of the divine magic and frequency teachings from that during those times. And those are also now returning to you here in this life, in this present, in this realm. And so to become conscious about it. And then the siren call, that's what I wanted to say. So a siren call is a form of magnetism. And I believe that after some time on this planet, with some of the influences that go on, things can get corrupted. And I think in a way sirens did get corrupted eventually, but when sirens were first in their original divine expression, they were just the ultimate form of magnetism through divine sensuality and divine sovereignty, because they knew who they were. It was uncorrupted, divine, purified sensuality and power, and it was uncorrupted, divine, feminine power anchored with masculine, because masculine was easy to pair with because they are awake and aware. Eventually, I think that it became something of a mournful heartbreak because of the way patriarchy took over and the disconnection of humans to their natural environment. And I think that really broke the heart of the sirens, and the sirens became corrupted from that, corrupted from the grief and things. So some of you might resonate with that. Maybe you had a past life where that was something that happened to you, and you really lost, you just really were broken by humanity's disconnection to nature and to their own sovereignty, and coming into such a dreary, drab, controlling world of not being your authentic self, and the loss of magic and power. So it's interesting thing to come through. I've never really thought about sirens like that. So let's love readings like this. Okay, so then we have unconditional love. So unconditional love. So love on this planet has also been corrupted. It is not as Creator defined it. It is not as it first came here. And when it first came here, Lemurians, that was the anchoring of their civilization, was unconditional love. And it was of believing in each other and lifting each other up and working together for the greater good of the whole, and the abundance and nourishment of the whole. And it was about anchoring beauty and just opulence through every single thing that you did, and everything contributed to that, and everything was linked, joined, and in a harmonious harmony that was creating all of this beauty naturally. And it wasn't really anything we had to think about or plan out, because it just naturally happened. And through that, there was unconditional love. We had unconditional love. We did not have criticism. We did not have this negativity, because this was also a time before Earth was corrupted with evils. This was a time before those frequencies came down to the planet. And right now we're birthing that back onto the world. We're birthing back the original power and the original definitions of unconditional love. And we are using that to heal souls that have been here for a very long time, that may have forgotten what it feels like and have been maybe trapped here or repeating karmic cycles over and over again. And we came down to free souls that have been stuck on Gaia from these intrusions and these manipulations that have gone on and pulled people off their path, and thus trapped souls here in karmic cycles. And even the laws of karma have been changed and changing. I have a video on my sister channel if you ever want to go check that out, that talks more into that. But the laws of karma have even been changing on this planet. But as we come back into divine femininity and allow Ma to rise on this planet again, we are starting to remember unconditional love. Even when someone hurts us and harms us, we don't want to see them hurt either. I know that you're this collective that is like that, and so you are anchoring unconditional love. But you're still also anchoring strength. You're not letting people walk on you. You're not letting people harm you. You are, one of my favorite readers says, empath with a backbone. You're an empath with a backbone, and you are able to own boundaries and say yes and no. There's a strength coming through us from all that we've been through and all the persecution that we've endured and all the dark ages. And this is not a martyrdom, unconditional love. This is not, I'm going to let you walk on me, unconditional love. This is, I'm going to still tell you the truth. I'm going to show you tough love. I'm not going to allow you to do that, but I am going to anchor this beauty, and I am going to hold space and love you, even if it's from afar, because you are choosing toxic things, but I'm still going to love you, and I'm still going to hold space for you, and it's not going to change, and it's going to be consistent. You also see that dolphin energy in there. So if you like, you can always travel to Lemuria. You can ask to go. You can go through the portals of your heart. You can get your guardian angels to take you. Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene will also take you. Kuan Yin has taken me. Isis has taken me through Egyptian portals. So there's different ways that you can access Lemuria, and there's different parts of Lemuria. But Lemuria has the most beautiful teal blue waters you've ever seen, and then they have mountains of crystals. And so the crystal mountains are made of amethyst, selenite, like all kinds of crystals, and you can go there for massive amounts of healing. The water looks like teal blue waters that we have on this earth, but it's not the same. And the minute that you enter these waters in the astral realms, you can feel the vibration and the magic coming through your being and your vessel, and you receive pure, true healing, and it comes through all the layers, even into the physical. Lemurians were very, very powerful because they knew how to root properly too, and they knew how to source their energy from source instead of using their own chi energy. Now, we have been taught for a long, long time to use our own chi energy because we've lost connection to the source and to our magic. But in the awakening that's going on the planet, and the reason that you're here and the reason that you found this reading, beautiful Starseed, is that you are anchoring, sourcing from source. That's one of the things that I teach my clients, is how do you source from source? A lot of people always say, oh my gosh, you have so much energy. Yes, because I've taken toxins out of my experience. I don't drink alcohol often at all, if ever. I try my very best to have clean cosmetics, clean foods, clean cleaning products that are not harming my cells in any way. I've even gotten out of taking Advil and Tylenol and all of those things. I take green juices, I take herbs. I have first aid from nature that our ancestors lived on. And all of those things have purified my cells and my vessel, and they have been allowed me to be able to anchor more source energy in my vessel and my being, so therefore I have more energy. Also because I live from an authentic expression and I'm not leaking out any energy, trying to pretend to be something that I'm not, or living in secretism or hiding things, or being someone different when I'm in front of people and then being someone different behind closed doors. Like I don't do any of that anymore, because my guides and my angels and my remembrance of how we lived in Lemuria and how we lived in Atlantis has come through, and I've allowed that to anchor within me and find its own natural expression in a way that doesn't cause chaos to my current reality. I am able to anchor source energy more and more and more. And the reason I share that is because that is available to you. It's all about the choices that we make. And sometimes it can feel like they've made it feel like it's just so much easier to be unhealthy. But if you set up your home properly, if you know what you're doing and you do the proper research, it's easy to set up your home in a healthy way. And it is easy to have all of these things go on and support, like the way I live, to other people that aren't used to it yet. It may look complex, but to me it's not at all, because my whole house is set up this way and it's naturally how I live, so it's super easy. And so it did take me a little while to get there and set up, but I just kept surrendering back to divinity and asking for those remembrances, and then following them when I seen them, and then asking for help when I was out and about from Creator and my angels, and in selecting products and selecting companies. And then also my guides and angels showed me a rooting process that has been extremely grounding and extremely nourishing, that has really helped to save me, that I teach all of my clients, and we go over in private sessions, and I have a couple meditations on my sister channel also that is showing you how to do this rooting process. And as this comes forth, bliss also anchors, because even what ends up happening is that I find bliss in even my challenges now, because I'm connected to source. I know that I have this endless supply of resources and solutions that will help me solve my challenges and my problems, right? And it's such a variance from the way that I grew up before I had these rememberings, because I used to get flustered and panicked and have anxiety and not be able to work through any of my challenges because I just didn't know what to do. And then I would spiral out and think, oh no, like, how am I going to solve this? And I just never have that anymore, because I'm so connected to the inner channels of wisdom and divinity, and I've listened to them even when it didn't always make sense to listen to them, and it has made my life and my health, my experience completely 1000% better. And I feel like the group that I'm talking to today, this is what's anchoring in for you. You are being called to make these changes within your health, in your body, in your products, so that you can anchor more light. It's not to take things away from you. It's not to make your life harder. It's for you to find a better way and an easier, efficient way to constantly be healthy, regardless of how hard the overculture has made it, and anchor in more source energy and light, because that's what you've been praying for and that's what you truly want. And you see the rainbow here. This is the new beginning. This is the light code frequencies. This is the healing. This is the wholeness. This is all of the rays of light with all of the frequencies and capacities that you need to anchor in what you are trying to anchor in. And this is the fuel, the source, the help, right? I'm also feeling freedom. For collective here, you felt really bound by the outside world. You felt really heavy. You felt really like you couldn't escape it. You felt really bound by the things that it made you do and be. But you're coming free from that, because you're really starting to follow the beat of your own drum. You're really starting to move through the uniqueness of your expression that's being called for you. I pulled some other cards from the Healing Waters Oracle. She who flows, ease, being open to change and going with the flow of life. So I was just talking about that. I actually keep holding these cards and I didn't even look at it. Let's go to the next one. Gentle force, consistency, persistent patience, and the long game, and then uncall. Healer, seer, priestess, or priest, and soul purpose. So in this connection to source, in this purification of your energy field, you're even purifying your emotions, you are purifying your mind. You just aren't letting things bother you the way they were before, or take the hold over you the way they were before, or make you present a certain way, or present not as yourself, or, you know, saying yes when you want to say no, and saying no when you want to say yes. It's been coming up in a lot of readings as of late. But you're just really understanding your boundaries, what it is important to you, and how do you want it to be treated, right? And you're just staying sovereign in that, and you're not forcing anybody to join you there, but you're presenting like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm choosing, this is how I want things to be treated, and this is how I see them. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine, but I'm going to remove myself and go over here and continue cultivating this garden of what I just explained to you. And you're welcome to join me if you want to be respectful and treat it this way as well. And in so doing that, you have really just been flowing in life, and all of this, it's almost like, feels like you're so lucky. And see all the water in this reading, you're just flowing with the universal harmony, where you just know what to do, you know which way to go, resources just show up for you, and you're open to change, because you know that some of this change that's been being called into you, like I described earlier, is actually for your highest good. And you're figuring it out. You're like, okay, this is actually not serving me anymore. It's actually making me sick. It's actually making me not feel good. What's the alternative? How can I bring something new into my experience that works just as good and gets me the same outcome, if not better? Gentle forces, consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. And so you're being really patient about your life, about you've just come into this this gentleness in your life, where you're just not striving for things. You're being really consistent. You're being really persistent with your changes, but there's a patience where there used to be an impatience, and you know that you don't need to strive and run after things and chase after them and have this okay, it has to happen right now, because you know it's like the long game. You know that it's going to come. You just need to hold the vision, and you know that you ask and it is always given. Your life has shown you this over and over again, and you're just refining and tweaking as Creator shows you, and you're letting yourself follow your bliss and your pleasure, and that is your emotional compass, which is now being reattuned back to Lemuria, back to some of these higher vibrational timelines that you trained already in, so your higher wisdom is coming through, and it is guiding this emotional compass within you. You are the healer, the seer, the high priestess. You have a vision forward where you just know what is right for you. You know what's a good choice for you. You know what's a good path for you, and you keep following that. You've mastered the element of your emotions. You've mastered your fears in a way, because you can just surrender them into this alchemization process within you that just alchemizes them out of the way, and then you're shown the next step from source, and you just keep going. So you have a really strong connection to source. Oh, the sirens. That's so funny. So we talked about the sirens earlier, and just using your voice, expansion and freedom. The sirens were the heart song. And later on, when it became corrupted, it was because the heart of the earth was corrupted. We were moved away from our creator. We moved away from unconditional love. We moved into darkness. We moved into suppression. And so the sirens were the heart song. And so they're calling on you to find your own heart song. Use your voice, expansion, freedom. And this comes in line with all the readings that I've been doing over the last while of 2026 being a really, or whenever you find this reading from right now, this next 6 to 12 months is going to be a really strong throat chakra activation if you haven't already went through this. Now, a lot of you that have found these readings, you're advanced souls and you're on a path of accelerated growth, and you have been doing this for a while, so you actually are ahead of the curve. But you're going to see this throat chakra awakening. It's going to deepen in your own self. You're going to be able to speak your truth more, those yeses and nos I talked about, but also speaking your existence into reality, speaking your reality into existence rather, and really understanding that your throat chakra holds ancient technology within which you can shape your reality. And when you're doing that, you are going to do that from the soul and from the heart, because that activates it faster, it activates it permanently, it activates it more with a more solid foundation into your experience, whereas you can see things that are birthed from the ego, things that are birthed from inauthenticity, you're going to see those dissolving very, very quickly in the next while as well. Okay, so what is your purpose? What is your heart song? What are you being called to create? I feel like there was an urgency in creating your soul purpose, and that's where that patience came back in. Now you just see that if you can keep building piece by piece, person by person, experience by experience, if you can help one soul within a certain time period, and then one more, and then one more, and then one more, you start to see that builds up, and that creates the overall, it just starts to add up and create this overall impact and legacy that you're trying to leave here. And that's giving you the expansion and the freedom that you need. It's calling in the resources. And you've done the work. You're an expert in your field. You're probably a healer or work in communication of some capacity, where you move the collective either into some sort of transformational work, or to choose something. Maybe you're in marketing. Beautiful. But all of the 3D implications of that are really, really melting away. And it is really aligning you with the resources that you need to birth different forms of abundance. So I want to check some different goddess cards here before we close this reading. Oh my goodness. Because you are working through such unconditional love, and you are able to alchemize your fears really, really quickly and carefully, miracles are just arising in your life. The love that you give others and the way that you make them feel and the specialness within which you connect to them with, it helps them want to support you, and it helps them want to birth anything that you're creating into reality. And so it's almost like that energy of luck, but it's not luck because it's created through how you make others feel and your authentic nature in loving them. I feel like you've been taking lots of time to rest and be on your own and be with source energy. Even if you have a family, and even if you have a lot of pulls at your energy, you've really been able to flow with your own cycles and your rhythms. And like I said, say no when you need to, and to create more of that time. But maybe you need to meditate a little more, or some of you need to meditate, because again, this is collective reading. But this is showing how strong you are. Everything that you have already overcome, and that you're definitely stronger than you think, but I feel like you're already consciously realizing that. I feel like there's just been these moments of realization as you remember who you are, and you have these activations coming back through, whether you remember consciously from Lemuria, or you're just this reading is going to awaken you, or they've just been coming through subconsciously. You're just really understanding like, whoa, I actually am way stronger than I think. I've built all of these things. Remember that like slow build I talked about, like where you're just doing 1% at a time, 1%, and you're really looking back now and being like, whoa, that built up so fast. And it was just like slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. It was like I kept doing this consistent action. All the consistent down here. I was persistent and I kept doing this consistent action, and now it's built up into this huge, beautiful, community or offering or support system that is bringing in all kinds of resources and bringing in a long-held vision. Okay. This is igniting your inner beauty. Like people are seeing your inner beauty shining out from every part of your being because you're so authentic, you're so grounded in love, and that is just one of the most attractive, beautiful things. And you're kind and you're warm and you love yourself and you're not comparing yourself to others. You're doing what you think is beautiful for you. And ironically, you're getting more attention from that than ever before, but you don't need it now and you don't want it now. And it's not about that. It's about you feeling beautiful. It's about you honoring the sacred vessel that you are. And that's what we did in Lemuria too. We all were beautiful from the light that came within us, and the contributions that we made, and the kindness and the love and the linking with each other and the helping with each other. And then that nourishment that we get fed when we are on purpose, and because we're helping other people establish and bring out the best in themselves as well, that's the energy and frequency that you're in. And so these goddesses will also help you. Mother Mary, Aphrodite, Sekhmet, Sage, you might already be working with them, or you might feel called to work with them after this reading. And then we have a 9. Take a risk and put your heart's true desires into actions. So where are you still maybe holding back, or like maybe there's just some changes that you want to make to your business, your expression, your service, but you've been kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should do it. This is your call to do it. This is a call to listen to your heart. You already know what I'm talking about. You already have been called to make these changes, and you just haven't. You just have not yet, but it's time to take that leap of faith. It's time to believe in yourself. You're ready. You have all this beautiful energy cultivated. You have all this support. Any gaps that you need, that you think you spiritually have, ask to go up in dream school, like I talked about earlier. Okay, find your heart song within you. What is your mission here? Name it. Speak it into existence. That's that throat chakra activation. Okay. Oh, dance is coming up here. Maybe you're already dancing with the way life flows through you, but like dance with your inner feminine, dance with your light language, your soul activations, like paint those frequencies into existence with the movement of your body, and let those divine frequencies move through you. The divine feminine is trying to anchor on this planet, the unconditional love, and it starts with how you move your body and loving that flow coming through you. You took a risk on yourself, on your expression, and it's really paying off for you. That authenticity is really, really paying off for you too. So some of you are just really need to enact that piece of faith, and others of you have already done it, and it's really paying off. It's like I talked about earlier, the choices that I made and what I ate and what I put on and in my body, they paid off for me now, because I can anchor so much more light. I can anchor so much more source energy. I can anchor so much more longevity, and I can help more people. I can hold space for more people. And so that's probably what you did as well, is that you have made these choices, and they have served you on this purpose and this path to bring out your beauty, to bring out your strength, to really help support your soul's purpose and your soul's mission. And now you are bringing in the resources and the blessings from that, or they're coming and they're landing in there for you, as better said. Okay, so let's pull one wealth activation card before I close this reading. In this ever-expanding universe, my prosperity too is ever-expanding. In this ever-expanding universe, my prosperity too is ever-expanding. Beautiful. In this ever expanding universe, my prosperity too is ever expanding. And so you are really just, look at her. She's like the knight. It's like Joan of Arc. She is just expanding through the universe, and her prosperity is connected to her divine love. And again, there's no gender in oracles and tarot. It's whatever frequency you are choosing to anchor within you, but we have both of those anchored within you. So this speaks to the divine feminine within you right now. But the divine feminine cannot expand without the support and the strength of her divine masculine. He protects her, he gives her confidence, he lifts her up, he builds the structures that she needs to have this expansion, right? And so this is the balance of masculine and feminine. In this ever expanding universe, my prosperity too is ever expanding. And so your prosperity is expanding. You're already seeing it. You've already seen that you've made more money this year, or you're seeing money increase in the next 3 months, and it's just going to steadily keep going up because of what you give the world. People are craving integrity, they're craving sovereignty, they're craving health, and you have the skills, the gifts, and the knowledge to help serve them that, and to help create that in their experience. No matter where they're at, they can start now, right? Well, beautiful soul, thank you for letting me read you. This was so beautiful. Like or share or put a thumbs up or a little comment down in the box if this helped you and this was your reading today. I love reading for you guys, and all of that is an energy exchange that helps me connect to your energy more and get more specific frequencies in reading. You showing up and looking at this reading is what helps it expand, and you've contributed to it as well. I hope this helped you. I hope this guided you and activated some things for you, or gave you some ideas of how you can deepen your connection and activations to Lemuria and have your soul's awakening and remembering. If you want a private reading with me, a soul alignment, or a energy rebalancing, recoding frequency session, all of my links are down in the description, and I'll see you on the next one.